Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just the DC Extended Universe as a whole, the DC film stuff, and more specifically, the Flash movie. So we are in 2022 and we have a bunch of comic book movies coming out from both the Marvel and DC sides throughout the year, with only a couple of months until the first of those hitting our screens in the form of The Batman. But over the past, probably like 48 hours or so from when this video came out, stuff made its way online which caused quite the ruckus and discussion from multiple areas of the DC fandom. Not fandom, but fandom. Now, I was going to do a video and release probably like yesterday, 24 hours ago, but I decided to leave it a day just to see what came out because whenever something like this happens, there's always something that comes the next day. So I didn't run and rush into it because I would have not had all the information, not had the whole chessboard in front of me. I don't know, all the pieces. So I left it, and I think that was for the best because we have more stuff that can be added to what I initially was going to do. Now, as I said, this has to do with the Flash movie, which is set for the end of this year. I think it's November. I don't know if they're going to change that because it only comes out like a month before Aquaman, but maybe that's the plan. Maybe the Flash movie leads directly into Aquaman 2 or something. I'm not too sure. But the Flash movie will be loosely, emphasis on that, loosely adapting the Flashpoint storyline from the comics. And of course, most of us would know what that deals with. It plays with time and sort of changing the timeline, which of course plays into what has, been talked about over the past 48 hours. So we'll be going over the stuff that has come out. And of course, spoiler alert, some of this has been presumed by many. A lot of this stuff actually isn't new, or there's just some extra context to it and other little bits and pieces that people are adding. But for the majority of this stuff, it's not actually that new. It's been known for months, if not over a year or so, just because of COVID and all the delays and stuff like that. But yeah, just don't continue if you don't want to know. There's the spoiler alert. So yeah. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your general thoughts and opinions on this. I'm sure they might vary. My opinion on it might be a bit of a hot take and maybe different from a lot of people. I'm not too sure. That's why you have to let me know. So let me know in the comment section down below what you're thinking. And of course, if you go on to enjoy the video and just want to show your support, why not drop a like on it to do all that? So this discussion started thanks to a couple of people on Twitter just sort of posting stuff. Now the two main people, well, I guess there's three. There's two, like, I don't know if we want to call them scoopers, but like that's I guess what they've been known as, who are KC Walsh and My Time to Shine. So they're the two credited just like people on Twitter that you would know or that you would see, or that's where that's where they're known from, is from Twitter. And the next is Grace Randolph, who we'll leave at the end. I know some people have an opinion on Grace. I don't really have too much of an opinion. I don't really see too much wrong with her for the most part, but yeah, we'll include her later on. And then also there's some stuff from Ezra Miller himself, which is pretty interesting and a bit random because you never hear from him. So pretty much to sum up what specifically KC Walsh and My Time to Shine on Twitter were sort of pushing was that the Flash movie will erase every DCEU movie Snyder, as in Zack Snyder, has done. So this will be Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and of course Justice League. Both Justice League movies, really, the theatrical and the Snyder Cut. So they never happen now. So they're erased from continuity, with both Ben Affleck's Batman and Henry Cavill being gone. They're erased as well. Which is then followed on with Supergirl now being the main Kryptonian of Earth. They use the term like super, but we'll use Kryptonian because that's what it is. The main Kryptonian of Earth, replacing Superman. And Michael Keaton's Batman is now the Batman and Bruce Wayne of this timeline, with Batgirl becoming the new like main protector of Gotham after her solo film, which I think comes out 2023. I don't think or might be the end of this year, I guess. I'm not too sure in regards to that. But specifically with the Flash movie, it ends with the Flash and Supergirl, because she's going to be in the Flash movie, as well as Shazam, forming a new Justice League. Now, in regards to who is the other members of this, we'd assume Wonder Woman. It's heavily suggested she's in the Flash movie, as well as Aquaman. So I'd assume it's Flash, Supergirl, Shazam, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and then maybe Black Canary, just based off what is said by Grace, which we'll get to in a second. But in regards to this new timeline of the DCEU after the Flash, what movies are relevant? What movies actually happen in this timeline? Well, based off what's being said, where Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League don't exist, or basically movies that involve Ben Affleck's Batman, you might be wondering, well, hold on, Man of Steel doesn't have Ben Affleck's Batman. But technically it does. He was there because you remember at the beginning of BVS or Batman v Superman, Bruce Wayne runs through Metropolis when Superman sort of wrecking the city, and we don't know if like what is specifically happened, whether that event with Superman happened or not. Like it's really confusing what's going to play out. And I guess that's for us to wait until the movie comes out and that explains what didn't happen. But in regards to specific movies, we can assume Wonder Woman 1984, Aquaman, Aquaman 2, which is upcoming, Shazam, Shazam 2, which is upcoming, Black Adam, which is upcoming, the Suicide Squad, the sequel, so no original Suicide Squad, because that would contain Ben Affleck's Batman in it. He's in that movie, but he's not in the sequel, so just the Suicide Squad, then Peacemaker, the TV show, Birds of Prey movie, then of course the Flash movie, duh, and then Batgirl and also Blue Beetle. That hasn't been really mentioned because I think that's going to be separate initially, and then we'll fold in maybe partway into that movie or something like that. That's for us to wait and find out. Now, of course, with all of this, you do take it with a grain of salt. You always do, because it's not coming from Warner Brothers PR or like set photos or anything like that. They're just coming from, oh, this, and that. But we knew most of this was already happening. It's just really the finer details where we're not 100% sure about it. But they use the term, the biggest issue is that the term erased is used. Erased is the worst term to use in regards to this, because you can't erase those movies. They happen. Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League, both versions, whichever one you want to watch. Those 4 movies, oh, it's Suicide Squad as well, the first one, that 5th movie. You can go onto Netflix or HBO Max, or if you have the Blu-ray or 4K or DVD, or you download it off iTunes, whatever it is, you can go watch them. They're not erased. What the best word to use is that they're not canon to that timeline after the Flash, but they're still canon to the DC multiverse. They still happened in another timeline, or if they want to say another Earth, there might be the other Earth, which is the pre-Flashpoint Earth, where you had Man of Steel happen, you had Batman v Superman happen, all of that. But now just in this post-Flashpoint timeline or post-Flashpoint Earth, because Ben Affleck's Batman isn't there, those events don't happen. Of course, with Superman, big question mark, don't know what's going on there. But yeah, those events don't happen in that timeline, but they still happen. You can still watch them. They still happened in the DC multiverse. They're just not relevant to that timeline. That's the best way to put it. I don't know why the word erased was used, because it's such a triggering word. And I don't think it honestly has anything to do with Snyder either. I honestly don't think it largely has anything to do with Snyder as like the main reason they're doing it. I think the main reason they're doing it is because Affleck doesn't want to come back as Batman. So that creates an issue where they sort of have to fix things because they want a Bruce Wayne in this timeline. Of course, they could just recast, but they don't want to go down that route. But in regards to Grace, she did give some like little added context in regards to maybe what happens during this. So she says, as I've told you with Update, The Flash is Batfleck's final appearance. I think everyone knew that. I think you have to be a bit delusional to think there was anything going on further than that. It's pretty much a glorified cameo from what I've heard. Like, he's not in the movie that much. And she goes on to say there's old footage of Cavill, as in Henry Cavill's Superman, used on TV, which I'm interested in because it was rumored, and I think someone posted a leaked photo. This was like before Fandom, of the Flash in his suit. So this was like the movie suit. This was like the first look at it, really. And that same person who leaked that said that Superman was on set, as in Henry Cavill's Superman. So I don't know. There's no photos of it, so you can't really say yes or no. Grace is saying it just happens on TV, like it's like the Spider-Man cameo in the Venom post-credit scene or something like that. But yeah, she says new Justice League formed, which was well known like last year, like months and months ago. Supergirl is the new Superman. I don't think that's the best term to use. I think just Supergirl is the Kryptonian, the main Kryptonian of this earth. And then this is some stuff for the Batgirl movie. Michael Keaton's Batman works with Black Canary, and that's how they lead into picking Barbara Gordon to be Batgirl to sort of protect Gotham. And of course they've said like Michael Keaton's Batman is meant to sort of play like a thread through multiple movies. We don't know until we see those movies and how he plays into them. But they just said he's going to be in multiple things going forward. So let's wait and see what happens there. But the last thing to go over is, or the last thing as like a reference to put on screen, was mainly one of the reasons I waited an extra day, and that's because I just want to see if anything replies from something. Now, Ezra Miller has opened up an Instagram account. I thought it was fake, but it's verified. He's posting personal photos. Yeah, you can see his little handle up there. So if you want to go follow him, you can. Ezra._x_.aradia. Not too sure what Aradia means. Is that like his middle name or something? I'm not too sure. Or like something personal. I'm not too sure. Anyway, so someone messaged him and goes, fans are going crazy thinking the movie is erasing Zack's movies. They don't see the potential this movie will bring Thunderbolt or Lightning Bolt, whichever way you want to put it. And Ezra replies, no power or force in any known megaverse could ever erase Zack Snyder's mighty works. You can take that quote, take that to the bank, to the press, to the schools, to the military, and the other pillars of capitalism. I'm forgetting because of that thing where if you try to think of a group of things, you always forget one of them. Now, I saw people saying, oh, this is proof that they're not doing anything. Like the Snyder stuff is going to play into the timeline. I think he's just reiterating what I said, where they're not erasing anything. You can still go watch those movies. They still happened. You can still watch them. You can pretend they exist in this timeline, but they won't refer back to them. Those events won't play into anything going forward. So, like, the Justice League wouldn't have had, I guess, Cyborg in it, or Ben Affleck's Batman and potentially Henry Cavill's Superman. It always just had the Flash, Aquaman, and Michael Keaton's Batman might have worked with Wonder Woman like 10 years in the past or something like that. So I think that's what you're going to see. So I think this is Ezra Miller saying a lot without saying anything at all. If anything, he's just reassuring what I'm thinking, where, yeah, they don't delete them. They still exist somewhere in the multiverse. They're just not relevant to this timeline. But in regards to the multiverse, I think all of this and what they're doing potentially builds up to Crisis, because there's been this talk about, oh, well, there's no Batman, there's no Superman now. But I think that's fine, because I think they're going to build up to Crisis where they will eventually merge Earths and you'll have your complete lineup of heroes in the DC universe with a classic Batman, with a classic Superman at the right age that people want them at, and all the rest, all those different characters, like a Green Arrow, like all those different characters, like a proper Lex Luthor. That's very important to remember. They're wiping out probably Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor in this timeline as well. Well, not wiping, because that sounds like erasing, but they're gonna change it. So it might be who his dad was. Maybe like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor still potentially happens in the future, but in this timeline, it's a different Lex Luthor and it's his dad, like was referenced, I think, in Batman v Superman. So eventually you get those, but at the time, like, what until that point, they are just going to develop the rest of this universe. Sure, it's a shame we won't have like a Superman or Batman out there with the Justice League, like in their prime, at least out in the field at the very least. But I mean, it's not like they haven't had the screen time for a while. Like Batman and Superman have been the main thing for so long. And also, just to reference the MCU for a bit, not in like a, oh my god, like to bring something down or prop something up or whatever it is, but the MCU went almost a decade. I think they went 8 years, I think it was, without one of their most popular properties. What was that? Spider-Man. So they got that in Civil War, which was 2016. I think, was it 2008 Iron Man came out? So 8 years, almost a decade without Spider-Man, and they still haven't done anything with the next popular franchise or property, or like I'd say top 3, that of course being the X-Men. So I think with all of this, it's just a wait and see. They've got to develop and flesh out the rest of this DC universe. And I think they're going to build up to a Crisis event, whether they call it Crisis on Infinite Earths or something else, where things change and swap, 10 years or 8 years or something down the track. I think it's best to just wait, watch, and then judge. And if you are hell-bent on hating it from now until the end of eternity, that's your choice. I'm gonna sit there and wait, watch, and then judge. Most likely enjoy it. But if you think you're just gonna hate it, then maybe don't watch it. Pretty simple. But I think it's best to let them have a go at it. DC's been strong since like the issues that they had in like 2016 and stuff like that, and they've pretty much been very, very consistent, and I've enjoyed pretty much every movie they've put out. So, and I'm looking forward to what's coming next as well. I think the Flash movie is going to have a big task at hand to make everything work in like probably like a 2.5 hour time frame, but we won't know until we watch it and whether they succeed with that. So it's best to just wait and watch. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on everything we went over. And yeah, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'm fine. Just let me know what you think. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.